Hello Facebook ads people, I'm Konstantinos and this is the Facebook ads breaking news podcast. Hello guys, podcast 92. Today actually it's a big day because Bitcoin has broken the 100k mark. I'm not a huge crypto investor, but I have some and it's a good sign. The thing that I really like the most though in this period is that Euro and USD conversion rate is much better. So I'm not losing money in the transaction from the clients that I'm having from United States. Anyway, so today we're going to discuss about the wellness and health category drama, the results from Black Friday, what we have learned this year. I have done new records. The triple whale messaging about how much was spent during Black Friday, total orders and total ad spend. And then we have several questions. It's going to be a big podcast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 3 huge questions from Liar and another 1, 2, 3, 4 questions for the end. So that's all. Let's start as fast as we can so that we can finish at some point. First of all, a little bit about Black Friday and how it went and how I see results right now. Strangely enough, right now after Black Friday, which was a good Black Friday in my opinion, I'm seeing that the other accounts are not slowing down as I would expect. So there are several businesses that I have scaled. Again, I'm telling you that I'm not the best guy as a criteria right now because I was left with medium to good accounts and I didn't keep bad accounts that they were not working to tell you how they behave. So right now, the thing that I'm seeing is that the ad accounts after Black Friday, they are starting to not slow down, but they're pretty well. I'm not saying that we have the same spends as the Black Friday and these days, but I'm saying that after closing the ads with our strategy, with the evergreen ads and everything is working pretty well. I'm seeing also comments in the Black Friday strategy, which make me really happy. Some of those are here today, that you're saying that you're used this strategy of having evergreen and other campaign stuff and it worked very well for you. And I'm very happy for that. Even if I help one person to do better, I'm very happy for that. The difference on this Black Friday, in my opinion, that I have seen is that in the previous year, we have seen a very good Black Friday, a little bit of slow results during the weekend, and a very exceptionally good Cyber Monday. I had the feeling the previous year that I didn't spend enough in the Cyber Monday. This year, and I just had a call also with a meta rep today, that I was telling him that I felt that this Cyber Monday this year was not as strong as it was in the previous year, but the weekend held pretty well compared to the previous year. Another lesson also here to learn is that we cannot just be prepared 100% for each Black Friday because each Black Friday is going to be different. The previous year I believed that I should treat from now on all the next years the Cyber Mondays as strong as I'm treating Black Friday. And this is something that it didn't happen this year because I tried to spend the same amount of money, but the ROAS was less. And I have seen this consistently across accounts and talking with some of my friends, except from one company that did something completely opposite from what we do. Basically, instead of spending the most of the money on Black Friday, they did spend the most of their money as last day of the sale on Cyber Monday with a completely different strategy. It worked for them, but these are established brands that they have trained their audience to this kind of specific offers, so I'm not going to say that this is something that would have worked with everyone. So the thing that I want to focus on for this Black Friday though, was that it was a good Black Friday. It was a little bit slower Cyber Monday from what I would prefer. I'm not leaving here with the impression that I should have spent more, although yes, there were opportunities that I could have spent more. And I'm just leaving this Black Friday a little bit more wise in terms of what it can happen. I have done my personal records I will post a video about this just because I want it for documentation and I wanted to have it on my channel. My new record was 600k spent in just one day on the Black Friday, and 5.3 million spent just in November in one other account. So these were my new records that I have now. So I hope that the next year my record is going to be 1 million in one account. I hope that I will be able to do that, but I don't know. You never know. So this is about Black Friday. We can see that Triple Whale actually posted here. And by the way, on what I said earlier, I think that based on what I see across accounts, for the good accounts and the medium accounts at least, I can see that the other accounts are not slowing down. They're continuing pretty well. So my guess is that I will continue, and maybe if I was programming to do 1k extra, for example, for Christmas ads on Monday, I will do 2k, okay? Because I'm feeling like the market is still there and I'm not having a slowdown on my campaigns. Of course, there are stock issues and all of that from many people, but this is what I'm seeing across accounts, and I will be a little bit more aggressive into my Christmas ads, and also I will try to scale a little bit with cost caps wherever I can, and I don't have stock issues. Now, Triple Whale did send a message. They talk about 718 million total revenue during Black Friday, 4.7 million orders, and then they say that the total ad spend was 90 million, which actually shocks me, because I would believe that the total spend on Black Friday would have been more. Why am I saying that? Because the other account that I'm referring to with the 5.3 million, it is on Triple Whale. So inside this, so this 90%, okay, this 90 million, 5% is me, for example, which is a huge number, you know, in just one other account. So I cannot believe that there are not more. I cannot believe that I had a higher spending ad account there, and I cannot believe that there are not more that they spend this amount of money during this period. So the fact that all the Triple Whale accounts spent 90 million on the Black Friday, because I have another account which spent another, no, sorry, the 5.3 million is on November, sorry. I have other accounts, so we have one other account that spent 600k there. And then I have another one which spent 500k, another one 400k, another one 300k, two or three more that they spent 350k. And then we go to the 200ks, 100ks. So out of this, I can calculate that 4 or 5 million, it's my ad accounts, for example, not mine, but you get my point, ad accounts that I manage. So I'm finding difficult to believe that 90 million is the number of spend. I don't know. Here they say 29,745 brands use Triple Whale. Total revenue was 700 million, I believe that. 90 million was spent on ads. I find this number very small, okay, given the fact that only I manage 40 accounts, okay. Given that fact, all of these other accounts that are Triple Whale, and I just don't get it. Anyway, total orders increased by 22 million. Meta owned the largest share of spend with 72% of all dollars invested devoted to the platform. That's a very good, interesting thing. 73% of the money spent, it was spent on Meta. Triple Whale was busy and hit a peak of 12,600 events per second tracked on the platform. Amazing numbers. So that's what I want to discuss. I think that the 90 million is a small number, but maybe it's because they don't have very big brands. But doesn't make any sense on 30k brands spending only 90 million. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't. And on 40, am I having that good ad account? maybe. I cannot explain it, to be honest with you. It looks like a very small number to me. It's shocking me that it's so small. Now, we discussed about Black Friday and about the triple whale, what happened on Cyber Monday, the learnings of the year, and the new achievements that I have unlocked. Now, health and wellness. We have all of these messages coming right now that health and wellness brands, they're going to have problems and they're not going to be able to run ads optimizing for bottom of funnel. What does this mean? In other words, it means that they're not going to be able to run conversion ads, that they're going to convert for purchases, initiate checkout or whatever, and they can run only traffic on engagement ads or reach ads. They say that this is going to happen on the 15th of January. Let me tell you my opinion on that. First of all, it affects a lot of businesses because health and wellness can be makeup. So the company that I did 600K, it's a makeup brand. So that means that all of these people, they will go in another platform that it's like Meta doesn't want them to spend money. I don't know, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like everything with Meta, I would prefer not to express an opinion or make a panic video. Oh my God, the Meta advertisement, it will never be the same again, you know, with a thumbnail like this. Because I believe that we need to see what is this when it's going to go live on the 15th of January. And if the decision is this exactly, then that means that they're going to lose a lot of money from companies that they're spending a lot. Because makeup and supplements are huge niches, huge. They're spending so much. And I don't know the reason that they want to do that, but I'm pretty sure that we're not seeing the whole picture over here. Now, I don't exclude the possibility of happening, but I'm just saying that there's no point right now speculating, because a lot of times they were saying that they're going to remove the pixel. They never did. Okay? Do you know the reason? When I went to Meta, I asked them, you said that you will remove the pixel. Why you didn't remove it? And they told me, have you seen this picture with the iceberg that has the tip above the sea and then below it's the big iceberg with all of this? They told me that this is who uses API. The peak of the iceberg above the sea level is the people that they use API, and just below everyone else is using Pixel. You cannot imagine how many companies, like from having a hair salon, from a small e-commerce like this, they have a Pixel and they have never changed to API. Only 10% of the users are using API. This is what they told me in Dublin when I went to the headquarters. So basically, they said, that being said, we cannot remove it. Okay. Yes, but for 1 year, they busted our balls that they're going to remove it. So there's no point of discussing something without happening first within Meta, and when it's going to happen, we will see. Secondly, health and wellness. Okay, a huge term. Who is going to be on this category? How are you going to find them and categorize them as health and wellness? Is it going to be through the selection of industry inside the ad account settings? Is Meta going to do it automatically? How is this going to happen? And I find it hard to believe that the brand, for example, that I know into my head, which was it, that they are going to make this brand go away from Meta. I find it impossible to believe. Yeah. If it happens, we will all take, you know, the damage, because I'm also going to be damaged. It's a big ad account for me, not because I'm showing it on the content. I rarely show it, but as you can understand, I'm getting paid a lot for this ad account. So we will see. Let's go to your questions, and let's analyze what's going to, what all the things you asked, and let's go. Why would you look at only 7 days for optimizing a campaign? Why would 7 days matter if every 7 days is different? And why can't you optimize using maximum? Is it because the last 7 days you can see if it's getting better and improving? First of all, yes, on the last 7 days you see if it's getting better and improving. The way that I optimize is that I optimize based on the last 7 days. Whoever cannot reply this to you is because they don't understand what they are doing within the platform. I have an answer. We are using the attribution setting of 7 days click, 1 day view. By the way, I have recently seen John Loomer posting that he cracked the code and he knows now that for 7 days click, 1 day view, we can see that on the 7 days click attribution, you don't have just to click a link, and this is what he believed so far. But even if someone clicks on the ad and then he converts, then this is also click. Okay, it's considered on click. John, come on, you do this. You do this for 15 years. You have never run an engagement campaign which doesn't have a link, engagement ad campaign, which doesn't have a link and got a sale. How was it attributed from the view? I mean, these are things that for someone who is running ads for 15 years, you should have seen it. When you have all of this attribution click and stuff, we can see it on reach campaigns or other campaigns that they don't have any link, that they are still converting on the 7 days window. So over there, it was obvious for me at least, and for other people that I know that we have discussed it, that this means that the click is not only clicking the link. Okay, just saying, in case someone here doesn't know that this is how it works. So the attribution setting, which is basically when they converted together the attribution, the conversion window and the attribution model, they put them together and they called it attribution setting. It used to be called conversion window. So basically it was the data that Meta is going to use in order to optimize. So on the first stages of a campaign, because we are optimizing, what I like to do is watch also the 7 days. So whatever Meta is going to use in order to optimize, I want to see also to take decisions. That's the way of thinking about it. If I'm using, for example, 1 day click, 1 day view, I'm going to just see yesterday's results and today's results, okay, in order to decide what I'm going to do. But since we need data, I'm using 7 days click. And for this reason, I'm watching the last 7 days. After you optimize the campaign and it's okay, and now it's moved to monitoring it with the average results of the whole ad account, you can start seeing the bigger periods like 14 days, 30 days, and see if you are profitable in the maximum period, so that if you are having a stress period of 7 days, you can leave it for more. But this doesn't make any sense on the first month of the campaign, for example, that hasn't proven that it's a winning campaign and that it can stay there producing results for you consistently. And I know, Nick, that we had conversations back and forth. You keep trying to understand why, but that's the reason. I don't know how else to explain to you. Then you say, when optimizing, do you always optimizing using the last 7 days, or do you always use maximum to turn off the ads and optimize? How do you balance these time frames in your decision-making process? I explained, but here this is another message, for example, from him, trying to understand why we use the 7 days, while for me, at least in my head, it's obvious that I'm going to optimize only with the data that Facebook optimizes. Now, when the campaign is fully optimized and I don't want to optimize it further, I have my budget, I have my ad sets that are working, or the ad set that's working, or the ads on an ASC campaign, then you can see bigger periods. If you have campaigns that they are coming from 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, then you can decide if you're going to keep it or not by just monitoring what it was doing 3 to 5 months. Was it losing for a week and then it was recovering? Okay, so it might recover again. Do I see it for the first time losing money? Okay, it's still profitable on the maximum period, so I'm going to give it time. All of these kind of things. But in the first phases, you need to watch the 7 days if you are optimizing for that on the attribution setting. Thanks for the video, it's a useful video. I want to ask another question. I sell digital products and I've seen a lot of my competitors doing worldwide targeting. What's your opinion on that? Do you think worldwide targeting works? I have seen it also working. I have 2 remarks about it, which are very important. So first of all, it really depends on your budgets. So if you're doing very small budgets like 100, 500, 1000, then worldwide might not be a good fit for you. But if you do big budgets like 10,000 in a campaign, 15,000, 20,000 in a campaign, worldwide can work because it can just go and spend a lot into different countries. Secondly, there are some countries that sadly they will never work, and we use them only if there's a specific reason, like Tunisia, Turkey, India, these countries, they have very low CPMs and they tend to take from the budget. So for sure, if you run worldwide, you have to exclude some of these countries in order for you to be safe. The next thing, USA. If you break down your results, you will see that USA is going to be a very big chunk of this spend. So I do prefer always to have a different USA campaign. And if I want to run my ads like this because I have a reason, I will use another worldwide campaign without United States, excluding some of these countries. Yes, it can work. It is for bigger budgets. For smaller budgets, maybe it's more efficient for you to focus in clusters like Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, okay? United Kingdom, Ireland, United States alone, you know, do this kind of thing. Let's go to the next one. Hi Konstantinos, do Facebook instant form campaigns optimize or only the ones that have a website and pixel? Yes, they optimize based on the lead that you're getting on the lead form. It's actually getting more people based on the lead that it has come. Now, if you ask me if they use the pixel information, no, they're using the ad account yeah, there's no pixel usage there, so they use the ad account quality, and they are also using the optimization that's happening on the ad set level based on who has actually become a lead in the form. That's it. Next one. In our case, we're spending 150 per day with 7-8 sales and CPA is 20. Based on this strategy, if we want to double our sales to around 15 per day, we would need to increase the budget to 300 per day or possibly 250 per day incrementally to maintain the same CPA. Since this bump is more aggressive than a standard 20% increase, isn't there still a risk of re-entering the learning phase or breaking campaign stability? What's the best approach to ensure we scale efficiently without increasing the CPA or disturbing performance? So he's referring to me, I did a comment, so basically he was talking about scaling, and I told him that whoever is using the 20% without understanding the reason that they are using it, they're stupid. So what's the reason that we use the 20%? So that we're not going to get out of the learning phase. So the 20% rule makes more sense to bigger budgets, where you don't like significant big changes and you just increase by 20% to avoid all of that. That being said, when you have $100 spent and you're just having an increase to 120 and your cost per purchase, for example, in the example that I gave him is 100, then basically what's going to happen is that you are increasing with 20% while you have never passed the learning phase, which is stupid. So you don't know what you're doing, you're just doing something because someone told you or you have seen a video. You don't understand what you're doing, which is the biggest problem that I have with people, doing stuff without understanding why they do them. And basically you're going to have a cost per purchase of 120 because the other thing that you're asking is 2 sales for the 120 budget that you have, which is going to mean 60. But if you're getting consistently 100, guess what is going to happen? The cost per purchase in this campaign, because you increase to 120, will go to 100. So what I'm saying is that you have to think. So in that case, what makes sense is to increase the budget to 200, add another 100 if your cost per purchase. But he came back and he told me that we're spending 150 and the cost per acquisition is 20. Okay, so in your case, if the cost per acquisition is 20 with 150, it makes sense to increase with the 20% rule and see what kind of results. But still, I feel like he didn't understand what I was talking about, because he said that if we increase with this strategy, we will go to 300 per day. So he didn't even understand if you're watching this, Kevin, you haven't even understand what I was talking about. So in your case, for example, the strategy that I proposed, it would be to go from 150 to 170, because in the previous one also I used the cost per acquisition. So in your case, yes, you have a very small cost per acquisition and you have a budget already of 150, which means that your increase is going to be on 30. Which makes sense. You can do that. I would increase by 20 over here, or I would take it to 200 because I want to get 2 more sales and see how it's going to perform, stuff like that. Okay, next one. So glad I recently found you thanks to a recommendation on the Reddit community. Quick question. I have tried and through ads I want to use the post ID however I want to send traffic directly to product pages which have since been optimized. Parenthesis prior would go to bestsellers collection. Would you run the same creative and start fresh with a new ad, or would you stick with a post ID and run another advanced shopping campaign alongside it with the new ad to test which performs best prior to building out multiple campaigns? And advice would be greatly appreciated. So if you're running advanced shopping campaigns or even CBOs with one ad set, you can always play with the budget. I'm okay with you playing with the budget as long as you understand the risks that you might your campaign. So you can play with the budget up and down, and you can increase it and see how it performs. What is it safer for you to leave it as it is and just do another campaign with other creatives? That's the safest option. That's why I propose it. On the other hand, we are all big boys here and we can take our risks, and you can increase your budget, see the limits of this ad that you're having. If you want, then you can move to another campaign with other creatives to scale even more if this specific campaign doesn't let you spend more. What I would have done, I would have leave it and I would have moved to another campaign to work with multiple campaigns. But I'm not saying that you increasing the budget is wrong, as long as you're understanding the risks. Hi Konstantinos, when in February the Chinese factory is closed and therefore we cannot ship, do we have to stop all the campaigns? The logic here says, I think it's on the 29th, on 29th of February. Can you Google for me Chinese New Year? So I think it's on the 29th of February. Which means that it's really on the end of February. What I believe that is going to happen is that we're going to have a good January anyway. And then February, people are going to start slowing down.
January 29th.
So it's on January 29, not on February, which means that most people are going to stop the ads from the 15th. And then we will have also a buffer period of the new orders being able to be shipped up to the 15th of February because they are going to pile up. My suggestion is that if you are really dependent on this stock, to just slow down your budget without killing your campaigns and try to survive this period with smaller spend so that you can be able to let your campaigns live instead of closing them, because you might not be able to, recover them. Next one. It's Kevin, says, we followed your strategy and after almost 1 week of running first time ads for our new brand, we achieved a 25% net profit margin from a single. Encouraged by this, we decided to scale by increasing our budget by 20%. However, the last 2 days have been unprofitable since we bumped with results always close to break even. We were surprised by this outcome because the bump in spend was relatively small, from 150 to 180. Should we focus on creating new iterations of the winning ads to improve performance, wait a few more days for Facebook algorithm to optimize and stabilize as this can happen? Appreciate your answer. So a lot of times people enter this world and they start doing something and then they don't have the experience, okay? Because I'm seeing right now from one of my students, for example, in 2005, that we started together before Black Friday, we started scaling. And now I see that if he was going to do all of this aggressive scaling on his own, right now he would have hurt his ad account because of his decision. He's not able to just switch off, and just say, okay, I'm going to stop thinking like it's Black Friday now, it's the normal period. I'm going to be, I'm going to be slower. I'm going to take my time with the decisions. Just after closing the promo 1 day with 3 rows, okay, let's scale. No, we have to go back to where we were. We have to go back to scaling normally and not as aggressively as we used to scale. Okay, tomorrow it's Black Friday, take one campaign from 1K to 10K immediately. Okay, so we have to be able to understand that there are different periods, and it's fine, but sadly, Some things are experience, okay? And here you're not having the experience of having a little bit of slowdown when you're scaling. So 2 days is nothing for Facebook ads. You cannot expect just to scale and then immediately this thing working. Secondly, yes, you're right. You didn't do any big bump. That's good. And basically you're the same person as above with the 20% that we were discussing. So you did what I proposed above. The thing is this. Both of the options over here that you propose, they are correct. So first of all, waiting. So you cannot just expect it to work immediately. Sometimes they do, but just give it some time with a new budget and see what is happening. And secondly, start working with other creatives because, as I said, it doesn't mean that you have just to scale with one creative just because it worked. Okay, so that's my opinion, and be okay with the fact that you're not experienced enough, okay, that you're going to make mistakes, or you're going to be afraid. For example, this student, again, he knows who he is, I'm not going to say his name. His comfort zone was working with 1K, 2K budgets per day. Now in the 5K, I can see that he's afraid of doing things. I can see this is a new comfort zone now that he has to learn to work with and not being afraid of stuff. And then the 10K per day, 20K per day, 30K per day. Can I confess something? For the 600K account, I was afraid. It wasn't my comfort zone. Okay, of course, I'm doing it in a period which is the best period to do something like this because you are a little bit more secured because of the promos and stuff. But this wasn't my comfort zone of spending 600K in just one day. Have I spent 5 million, 6 million, 7 million in 1 month? Yes, I have done this, but with more controlled way. But spending 600K in just one day? No, I haven't done it. It's the first time that I have done it. I believe I haven't done more than 5.4 million. As I said, but I have done it collectively between other accounts for the same brand. But no, let's call it then that the 5.4 is the biggest one, okay, that I have done for a month. So on that case, I wasn't that afraid because I could control it in between the days. But for the 600K, it's completely outside of my comfort zone. Okay, so this is an issue, okay? And while the 5.4 million in just one account in 1 month is something that you can control more, and it's the biggest one that I have done, because I have done 3, 4, or even 7, 8 million collectively on other accounts of the same brand that they were having the same pixel and everything, I think that I wasn't so much pressured about it. But the 600K, which was outside of my comfort zone, because guys, you were just refreshing and it was another 1K spent. It was refreshing, another 1K spent. You know, it was spending like crazy, sales here and there. I was managing it all the time, increasing cost caps, increasing campaigns aggressively. I was doing surfing in this ad account basically, and the more I was getting good results in one campaign, I was increasing more and more and more. And as the time passed by, I was reaching up to the point that I was getting closer to the reset, so I was increasing my budgets even more so that I can be able to spend more. Because think of it like this: if you're having 2 hours left and you put from 1K to 2K, it's not going to spend 1K. It's going to spend whatever it's going to spend in the 2 hours. But if you put it on the reset, it's going to spend the 1K. So in order for you, if you want to spend another 1K, instead of increasing it to 2K for the last 2 remaining hours, because you don't have a lot of time, you have to increase it to 20K, for example, okay? It's just so that you can take the maximum over there. I haven't found any equation of calculating how much I should put it in order to do so, but I do it from experience. So this is something that you're going to have, and the fear and all of that, and this is some knowledge that you have to conquer by just doing mistakes and doing ads. So both of your options are correct over here, creating more winning ads, either iterations, or maybe you can do completely new creatives, or let it stabilize and stuff. That's also an option, or you can do the both at the same time. Next one, hey Konstantinos, I'm running a leads campaign with broad targeting in the Netherlands, 18 million people. I don't like the results after 48 hours, one lead and the CPM of 70 euros. My services are for business owners. Would you test a better creative or interest first? I would test with the same creative interests and other targetings in order to compare CPMs and results. And then I would take decisions if my creative is a problem or something else. Hi Konstantinos, nice video. Merry Christmas in advance. Merry Christmas. I'm currently working with a client that requires his ads to be switched off during weekdays, but sometimes after putting it on by 12 a.m. it doesn't perform as usual. Can you please give your thoughts on this? Guys, there's no... So many times we're discussing about Facebook ads and about the platform, okay? And I'm telling you that even if you want to do this, the platform is working like this. And because you came to the platform to advertise and you were not invited here, you have to adapt. If someone doesn't want to advertise on weekends just because he thinks that he's really smart and he's not going to advertise then and he's going to advertise only whenever he wants, guess what? Of course you can advertise whenever you want, just don't expect the best results. You know, it's your right to advertise whenever you want. It's your right to open and close the ads every 1 second. It's your right to do so. But it's not your right, you're not right if you believe that this is not going to affect your ads. So when you're doing something like this, there are some workarounds like working with cost caps and lowering the cost cap to $1, for example, and so that you won't spend anything on weekend and you will increase it again on Monday. The other way is with budget scheduling, that you're going to have specific budgeting and you can do it like this. The other way is with the previous one was lifetime budget instead of daily budget. Then you can do budget scheduling, that you will have specific budget which is going to be spent more during some specific hours, and on the other hours it will just spend $20. For example, you can do up to 800% increase. The other thing is bid caps. You have all of these options, but in my opinion, if you're trying to do it like this, it's not correct from the perspective that it's better for the ads to run and have results and data, and then you can see the average results and see if you're benefiting or not and if you can fix it or not, instead of just closing it and just pretending that you're the smart guy over here that you cannot run ads during weekends. And I know it's your client, but most of the times when a client of mine tells me this, I tell them that I will not do it unless there is a specific reason, like having a call center, for example, which is closed on Sunday or Saturday. But even for these people, I'm telling them that the best option it would be, for example, to gather the calls and call them later, for example, okay? It's better not to interrupt your ads and not to stop them for the long term. Next one, I see CPMs of 60 and cost per click of 3 plus Black Friday. It's not fun at all. It actually shocks me that you tell me this, but the reason that I put this question here is because I wanna say that when you see higher CPMs on Black Friday, because I have seen across my other accounts that I was having higher CPMs, it didn't affect my ROAS because there are more people buying. So the ads, yes, there is more people running ads, but on the other hand, this is a period that there are more people are buying, so there's more demand. So CPM is something that you should not be bothered at all with. Now, the fact that you had 3 plus click, I don't know what kind of clicks you get in normal, but Black Friday was very good. Okay, so if it didn't work for you, then your site and your offer and stuff has a problem. I have so many accounts that it worked really well. Next one, hi. Do you still separate videos and images inside an ASC campaign? I have one campaign doing average. Inside the video is taking most of the budget with low ROAS. Images have less spend with high ROAS. Is it a good idea to close the video ad? Two things about this. So first of all, yes, I always separate them. The reason is what we have said in the past, that a video is going to take all the budget. Why? Because it engages, it gathers engagement easier. For example, in the feed, 3 seconds of autoplay is considered engagement. In order for you to get engagement in the image, you need to click, comment, share, and do all of that. So the images are getting more engagement, which is the initial criteria for Facebook to spend more money, because they believe that this ad, if it's getting more engagement, it's something that people like. So let's spend more to it in order to try to get a sale. So that's why we don't mix them together, because it doesn't mean that if the video is taking all the budget, that is better than the images. So they can have their own campaigns and they can have their own different results. The images can actually work. Now, the second thing though that I need to say here is that the fact that they're getting better results doesn't say anything, because this is the leftover budget. If you have 10 ads, for example, and one of them is taking all of the budget, and then another $20 are left over and they go to another ad set and it has a sale, it doesn't mean that the cost per purchase that this ad will get with normal situation and normal spend, it would be 20. It's completely different of seeing ads with leftover budget having good results, and completely different for an ad to have good results while it's taking the majority or a good chunk of the budget. So don't believe that by just closing it you will have the same ROAS into your image ads, because it's just leftover budget, okay? What I would do here is that I would close the whole campaign and I would do a new campaign only with image ads to see how they're going to perform. Next one. Always love your videos, very insightful. I'm a bit confused with my ad account. I have great success with one campaign selling a category or product to the customers in sports. However, I noticed that when I add other product category in the same ad, even through the customers are the same, my performance starts to drop. Your customers are the same, but the campaign was optimizing for a hot pocket for specific customer for specific thing. Okay, so it's even if your full circle of customers is there are smaller circles inside hot pockets for the different items. Even if it is like this, it doesn't mean that by advertising a different product category which is forming a hot pocket that you can actually put another category there and it's going to work, because it's another hot pocket which formed from another category, even if your core audience is the same. Okay, my performance has dropped. Part of it, I'm spending 300 a day on ASC campaign. I want to scale my other product lines. What do you recommend? Do their own campaigns, okay, and try to see. Also, the fact that you want to scale your other product categories, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen, because if you put them in their own campaigns and they're not going to take the results that you want, then you will have to close them. You trying to push the other categories inside a campaign which is already working with a category that is proven, it's completely wrong, because it resonates for other people, even if the total of the people is actually the same. There are always subcategories and sub niches within a big niche. So do other campaigns and leave this campaign alone. For the love of God, if something is working in Meta, please don't touch it. Hi Konstantinos, I found that in my ads account that usually running CBO, now I'm adding ASC on this account. Seems like ASC overpowered or sucking out the CBO. I mean, the CBO is now underperforming since I added ASC. Might be ASC overpowered the bidding on CBO on same audience. Yes, it can happen. There are two aspects to this again. Daily loop theory, okay? Watch my videos. We're not going to... I have 3 videos there. The reason that I have posted them is so that I can tell you, go watch the daily loop theory. So this is what I'm going to do also here. The second thing that I'm going to say here is this. The new campaigns that you're doing, if they're going to appeal to the same audience that one campaign which is already existing is actually forming a hot pocket, the new campaign is going to form a hot pocket and it's going to try steal sales. Why? Because Meta is boosting the new campaigns and it's giving them the low-hanging fruit so that it can start the optimization process. So the new campaign is having an advantage compared to an old campaign, depending how old it is. If the old campaign is very, very old, and it has a lot of data, historic data, then a new campaign might have trouble of winning it. But if it's not so old and the new campaign comes, or maybe if it is old and it is fatigued, for example, with the creative, then the new campaign, especially if you're using the same creatives, might have an advantage against it because it's getting boosted in the first 24-48 hours from Meta to get some sales, free gift from Meta, the low-hanging fruits as we call them, clients, so that it can start the optimization process. And this is how it works. So go watch my daily loop theory videos and you will understand it more. So that's all I had for you guys. I think we answered everything. Please don't send me questions with consolidation and stuff. because I don't do consolidation, and I don't want to actually, maybe you should ask someone who's using consolidation to give you the right answers about consolidation, because I have a pure objection about consolidation. Anyway, guys, that's all, and until we meet again, happy. So now you have to start your ads for Christmas, I guess, and for me, I think that the ad accounts are holding pretty well, so I'm going to continue pushing, not as aggressively as I was doing it with Black Friday, but for sure it's not slowing down, so I'm going to exploit it. Guys, I will see you in the next one. This is the end of the first part of the Facebook Ads Breaking News podcast. If you don't want to miss the second half of the podcast, where I'm answering all the remaining questions of the week, visit my Patreon page following the link on the description. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.